the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama, touchdown run.
And everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this, the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you for the next 2 hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics and Alabama athletics and SEC athletics and NCAA athletics. And we appreciate all of you out there being with us. And if you got something on your mind, by all means, give us a call. Let us know what is going on. 256-234-6221. You can dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page and comment away there, and we'll get to as many of those as we can throughout the show. A lot to talk about tonight. As always, we obviously broaden our horizons. Here we talk a little bit about everything and things making news across the sports world. Auburn blown out at home by the Penn State Nittany Lions. Run out of their own stadium. Not what they had in mind, but it happened. I was there. Louisiana Monroe, Terry Bowden, probably what we had in mind, 63-7 as Alabama takes care of the, what are they, the Indians? What are they?
No, the Warhawks.
Warhawks.
And I'll tell you something, the biggest story all weekend is Terry Bowden.
Yeah.
Like literally the big, that man, I said if the Alabama players were watching Louisiana Monroe come out of the tunnel and he were leading the charge, they'd go, oh my God, nobody told me they have a 5-star nose tackle. He is huge.
Tater tot.
But he's not a tater tot. He is a Big B barbecue baked potato now.
He is, yeah, he's a plump fella.
I was in a box, a friend's box, in the end zone, and I could clearly see him. It was like you couldn't take your eyes off of it. It was like it was like having an eye floater, this giant eye floater. You know what I'm talking about, the little eye floaters you get? And
I've never had one, but yeah.
I couldn't get him out of my vision. He was everywhere, literally.
Yeah, well, when that's the biggest story of the game, it kind of tells you how the game went. So
I got a lot of thoughts on the game. I'll tell you, we didn't fix as much as the score would indicate, but
I mean, when Bryce Young throws 2 picks and you're 1 of 6 on third down, you don't really feel great about it, but.
Look, everybody talks about the punt return yardage. See, all that said to me was we had our second string punt returner return one to the house on his first try. What it tells me is we out-athleted them so much that you learned nothing. And so, yes, I'm glad we played them. Yes, I'm glad some of the things happened. Yes, we needed a break after Texas. No, I don't know that we necessarily got any better, but I know most of the show is going to be about Auburn, Penn State, and Harson's future.
It don't have to be.
It does for me.
Okay.
This is cathartic for me. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to take these 2 hours.
I'll listen because I've talked quite a bit today already. But the SEC, it was an interesting week in the SEC. I'm really not sure how good the SEC is, to be perfectly honest with you. Arkansas struck. Now, granted, look, you say, look, Arkansas struggled with Missouri State. Bobby Petrino. The dude knows offense. The dude can coach offense. He knows what good players look like. It's not a surprise that Missouri State is good offensively. It's a surprise that they had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter on Arkansas.
They were up 17-0 at one point.
It's a surprise that South Florida missed a chip shot field goal to tie and send it to overtime against Florida.
How about one bad snap takes them back 15 yards? Then the long snapper makes a perfect snap and the holder boofs it. And the kicker almost still made it, which would be an impossible kick to make. He came so close to making it. Yeah, I think you're right about the SEC. Look, I don't think it's just the SEC, though. I don't think it's relegated to the Southeastern Conference. I think right now it's Georgia. And then as a friend of mine said, you could rank everybody else number 18. Everybody. It could be Georgia at 1, everybody else is number 18. Because, I mean, honestly, I don't feel super confident about Alabama playing. I mean, pick a top 10 team. You know, I certainly wouldn't feel super about playing Michigan at Michigan right now. I wouldn't feel great about Alabama playing Oregon right now, and Georgia's already buried them. Now, I know week to week things change, but Ohio State, they got defensive issues. Mm-hmm. That's pretty clear.
Clemson doesn't look like a world beater by any means.
I mean, look, everybody loves to say it's the same old, same old. Right now, Georgia's the best team in the country, and I don't think it's particularly close. It's week 3. A lot will change, and Georgia's only given up 1 touchdown in these 3 games.
And that was late.
But here's the thing. We have seen this time and time and time again. We've seen it with the Bulls winning 72 games. You know, you will start as the season wears on. You see it with the New England Patriots and Super Bowls. The season wears on, things start to, the perfection, the demand for perfection wears on you. I mean, I've seen it with Alabama teams, and all of a sudden you mess up a couple times, and then you don't really know how to come back from behind. Like you're like, I just can't get it back. You can't corral all that momentum again. I'm not saying Georgia can't win the national championship. I'm saying I don't believe they can keep up this pace the entire year. If they can, God help us all.
Yeah, that's true. It's astounding. I give Kirby all the credit in the world and say, I mean, he built this thing from the ground up, and he has elevated it to a point to where they are literally following the path of Alabama that Nick Saban started when he got there in 2007. So all credit to him. They look like you said, like the best team in the country. So
their tight ends.
They got 3 tight ends. An NFL team would be happy.
They've got another tight end, Rick Gilbert, who hadn't even really played yet. He's still got all these issues.
Georgia's running end arounds with a tight end.
Yeah.
And scoring
easily.
I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen that. Did you run an end around with end around reverse with a tight end?
That Brock Bowers is, man. He'll never win it. And frankly, I mean, quarterback is the most important position in sports. Gosh, I think he might be the best offensive weapon in the league, if not the country.
It's hard to argue. I haven't seen a running back this year that would, blow your socks off. I haven't seen a wide receiver this year that would blow your socks off. So this may be the year, if it's ever going to happen. This could be the year that maybe it does. Has a tight end ever been invited to the Heisman in New York?
I don't know of one.
I can't recall.
I mean, the only one I could even think would be in the discussion, maybe Jeremy Shockey. I know he didn't go.
Yeah. I mean, did Ozzie Newsome?
No. I mean, he might have been in the voting. Honestly, I don't remember. Gosh, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Ozzie Newsome also played receiver at Alabama, though.
Okay. Anyway, NFL again continues on. Some interesting things. There was a big fight.
Yeah, Mike Evans, again, at the center of one of these things. As another friend of mine said, Mike Evans looks like he sort of shows up to the game like, I'm going to fight somebody today. Like every time and not by necessarily his demeanor, just by his look. He's like, I wish somebody would. He's got that sort of chip on his shoulder,
And you got a 42-year-old Tom Brady out there picking fight too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Tom Brady. I thought he was older than that.
Is he? He may be 40.
I think he's 44.
Is he 44?
Yeah.
That seems about right. So anyway, we'll talk about these things much more. There are now 2 fired head football coaches. You have Scott Frost at Nebraska and Herm Edwards at Arizona State.
Where my son is.
Can we get some inside information?
My son went to the game. And he said, yeah, they stunk. And apparently he got fired on the field.
Yeah, going. Got end zoned. So.
And, look, it was inevitable. I can't believe he hung around this long because all the NCAA stuff, and apparently during COVID they were having people in for visits, which is that's a no-no. Especially, I mean, like, look, if you did that in SEC, we'd probably all go, okay. Your rival would make a big deal of it, but in the end, you're like, yeah, we probably would have done it too. Out west, I would assume everybody just was clutching their pearls at the horror somebody would surround other, put up people in harm's way during COVID or whatever. But
it's a different sensibility.
Yeah, he wasn't that good. I mean, he had a good win against Oregon. I think was that last year or 2 years ago. They beat Oregon 10-7. When Oregon was in the top 4 at the time. But, yeah, it wasn't going to work. And so Arizona State needs to get somebody else. And, one of the names that's on the list is Brian Harsin. I mean, but, look, I know Auburn fans are like, that's too good to be true. There's no way.
Well, stranger things have happened. He seemed like maybe after a year and a quarter, he seems like perhaps he might be a better fit out at Arizona State in Tempe.
Literally anywhere, actually.
Literally anywhere, but I don't know. We'll obviously we'll get into that. I'll save that for the next segment, and I'll let you, since you are so itching to talk about it, I'll let you tell us what you thought about it. But Florida State's 3-0, Duke is 3-0, Kansas is 3-0,
And they play each other.
Oregon bounces back. Texas doesn't look good against UTSA. That one in the third quarter, I thought, hey, I kind of teased that last week that they could lose to UTSA, and looked like it was headed that way, but not to be. But Syracuse is 3-0.
Wake Forest is 3-0.
Wake Forest is 3-0. So there's some, that Wake Forest is ranked. There's some interesting matchups this week. Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee heavily favored in that game, although,
game day,
as we have said many, many times, and we're told by the Florida, I don't know why, they hadn't beat Florida twice in 20 years. So it should be a fun weekend.
I mean, if Tennessee gets by, if they get by Florida, I know they got LSU coming up too. I mean, I
Tennessee, your number 11 team in the country, by the way.
Which also speaks to the sort of, it's Georgia and everybody else right now. I mean, look, again, teams will grow. I mean, USC may blossom into something, who knows. Alabama certainly could. Ohio State's defense may come around. Michigan, the problem with Michigan is, they've scored 150 points or so already.
Oh, wow.
The problem is they have played a sack of grits. I mean, they played literally three of the worst teams in the country. I mean, it's kind of shameful. And I really hate it for next year. We were talking off air. SEC just released their 2023 schedule for in-conference with the dates, et cetera. And Georgia was advised to take Oklahoma off the schedule because Oklahoma, of course, will be coming in soon. And I think this is a precursor to Oklahoma being in the conference by 2024. Well, they had to find a replacement really quickly. So they get Ball State. So now they got three cupcakes and Georgia Tech, along with and Georgia Tech also cupcake, along with the SEC schedule. So I mean, Georgia, they'll lose Stetson Bennett, and they'll probably lose some other dudes. They're going to be really good again. They're not going away, and on top of that, they'll have a very easy schedule next year.
Could not score a point against Ole Miss.
That's
tough. There's going to be another opening in NCAA football, and it's going to be at Georgia Tech as well. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in Alexander City, downtown. Go and check them out. Great food, great atmosphere, great people at JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Got to take our first break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City. Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
In a word, it's chaos.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, where a town turns into a city, and a weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other.
What a wild finish.
At a track like no other. And after it's all over, you still won't believe it ever happened.
The winner at Talladega.
Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
The heat is on, and nowhere gives you more than KiaofAuburn.com. First, we give you more for your trade-in. Just scan the code to find out how much. Next, the all-new Kia Sportage is here, and you'll be ready for anything. Then, at KiaofAuburn.com, you can custom order your new Kia just the way you want. Want more? Check out our selection of certified pre-owned Kias with 165-point inspection, complete protection plans, and so much more. Selection, price, trade-in value. You always get it all at Kia of Auburn. Kia of Auburn, where you're always number one.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, just getting started on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us, brought to you each and every day by Sunshine Heating and Air. Give them a call today for all your heating and cooling needs. It was really hot this week, and it's going to continue to be so, but the cool weather is coming soon enough. So give them a call today, 256-825-4849. Sunshine Heating and Air. Luke, I've talked quite a bit about it. I don't know. I would not normally ask what you think about Auburn and what you thought about this game, but at this point, I mean, why not? It is what it is. I would appreciate a fresh perspective.
First of all, I go back to when all the blank hit the fan. Late January, early February of this year with the attempted coup that failed miserably.
Right.
But maybe it didn't fail.
Maybe it didn't, yeah.
I mean, I doubt that the coup meant for Auburn to have this slow death, but that's where it feels like it is. Look, Penn State was more physical. Penn State was faster. Outside of Owen Papo's hit on the very first drive, which was one of the best post-targeting rule hits you will see that is legal. I mean, when he first did it, I said, that's got to be targeting. And then you see the replay, and it wasn't. I couldn't believe they didn't call targeting initially, though. Usually when you see a hit like that, they call targeting, then call it off, which, by the way, I hate that too. But it was not targeting. It was just a good hit. And here's the thing, though. It's like two boxers, and one boxer's just got this massive right hook, and he just nails the other guy. But then the other guy gets up. You're like, that was supposed to knock you out. And that guy kept fighting. Clifford he got up, and it made him better. I'm kind of shocked that Penn State went for it on that first fourth down, by the way. I understand setting a tone, but given Auburn's offensive woes, I definitely would have punted them deep. Anywho, I do find the irony in the Auburn complaints about the 1 second being off the game clock when it should have been stopped. I mean, there's no doubt. But at the same time, your coaches have to notice that too. I mean, you know, and challenge it or say something, and they didn't. And I think if they had done it, I think that, I don't know that not one thing would have changed, frankly. I've heard some people say, well, you never know what will happen. That's true. You do never know what will happen. The whole game, Penn State was the dominant team out of that one hit by Owen Papo physically. And I think that's what shocked me the most, just as a guy who grew up here in Alex City, learning a lot about Auburn all my life. Auburn's always been a real physical team. And, man, Penn State was just that much better. And now TJ Finley is out for the Missouri game. That was announced before we came over here. A lot of people have been calling for Robbie Ashford. Well, here he comes. A lot of people have been calling for Zach Calzada. He may be backing him up. It's still rather nebulous if he is available. You know, and it all goes back to what we said this summer. I kept saying, look, I don't think this offensive line can do anything. I know a lot of Auburn fans took offense when the SEC media picked Auburn 7th in the West. And, again, the part of me that has grown up right next to Auburn goes, yeah, that probably is stupid. I mean, because Auburn always finds a way to do something when they're the underdog, blah, blah, blah. But there was also a part of me that was like, they just don't have a good offensive line. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the quarterback. It doesn't matter about anything else. If you can't block anybody. And I also think Auburn's defensive line is okay. I heard y'all talking earlier today. I think it was Randy brought up, like Derek Hall. He's a good player. Echo Leota is a good player. Are they upper-tier SEC players? That's the question.
Yeah.
And
the answer's no.
The answer's probably no. Owen Papo, again, see, Owen Papo will always be the – some people will point to him and say, well, you know, 5-star didn't play up to it. Owen Papo's been a contributor ever since he's been at Auburn. Has he been an All-American or second-team All-American or third-team All-American? No. But he's been a starter ever since he's been there. He's been good. But if you don't have somebody else with him, and that's a problem. If he had a running mate, like one of these Georgia linebackers, Owen Papo would be a lot better. You know, I just don't think Auburn's got the talent to be super competitive this year. And as we were talking about next year, Auburn loses the people that are starting. That could be a good thing because we both think they'll have a new coach next year. Do you see any path to Brian Harson's survival outside of a fantasy win out?
I am 100% convinced that Brian Harson's career at Auburn ended Saturday.
Agreed.
And not officially, but unofficially, yes.
Agreed, and I think that if he does lose this Saturday, which I don't think they will, again, Missouri's not very good, but 11 o'clock kick, it's homecoming. 11 o'clock homecoming games, again, having been to some in Alabama, they're awful. Because it's almost like you got to do the parade at 5:30 in the deadgum morning. It's stupid. I wish it makes, by the way, it makes no sense. Just I wish Auburn, I wish there was one game every year that each SEC team go, I'm not playing the 11 o'clock game. That's my homecoming. I'm going to play it at 3. You can put me on PBS if you want to. I wish we could veto one of them, every team.
Yeah.
But if Missouri beats Auburn, I think he's fired. Literally, Herm Edwards style.
He will not be the coach on Sunday.
Totally agree. Now, I think that if he beats Missouri, he's there until after Georgia, which could be a bloodbath.
If somehow he could beat LSU, Missouri and LSU, then I think he even survives a 42-6 Georgia. But I don't see us beating Ole Miss. I don't see us beating Arkansas. I don't see us beating Mississippi State. So all those combined is going to be that. There is no, and when you get to finally the Iron Bowl and you're dragging in there, and you may or may not, you know, you've beaten in a close shootout Western Kentucky, or you have lost to Western Kentucky, which is possible.
They're
and
good.
You lose, 42-6 to Alabama. It's inevitable. I mean, so there is no. I don't think there is any way you can crunch the numbers and it comes out in anything else.
This could be said about every game for everybody, I'm sure. But I think this next game determines Brian Harson's at least immediate future.
All it does is determine the point in which he will leave.
I agree. I cannot imagine why he'd want to stay.
Yeah. I tell you what, we'll ponder this for a minute. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Sports Splits Live right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. September 15th, 7 p.m., the Gouge Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Buy tickets at the box office or visit GougeCenterTickets.auburn.edu. The new album, Georgia Blue, out now.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, and we'll go right to the phone line.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, is this Luke?
It is Luke.
Hey, it's good to talk with you and Andy. This is Morris over in Anniston.
Yes, sir.
Alabama fan, but I still like all my Auburn folks, too. Let me say this to Andy, and then I want to ask Luke a question that I've been sort of watching the coach, and I've been pulling for him. I'm going to tell you, I feel like he's probably a nice guy that's had some bad treatment, but it appears to me there's a possibility he don't want to stay, and there's nothing wrong with him leaving with a pocketbook full of change, if you know what I mean. But to me, watching his interviews and all, I don't know. He just don't seem that tore up about what's going on. And then I'll get off phone in a minute. I wanted to ask Luke. I don't know how I missed it last week. I know he's probably talked about that nauseam, but if he could give me a quick overview of his views on the Texas scenario and also our receivers. I'm not that impressed with them. The rest of the team I'm probably okay with, but the receivers look to me like they lack a little bit of something. But let me hang up where I can actually hear y'all on TV, and you guys have a good night.
All right, thank you, buddy. We'll get to those. We're going to go ahead and get to our other caller, but appreciate your call. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Hey, this player that intercepted the pass against Georgia in the championship game, at Southeastern Conference Championship, I can't think of his name.
Jordan Battle? Jordan Battle?
Who?
Jordan Battle?
Yeah, but I ain't heard too much about him. Is he hurt?
No, and he's not hurt, but you're right. He hadn't done anything yet that has just completely stood out. There's no doubt about it. In fact, Alabama's secondary doesn't even have an interception yet. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess if you're gonna beat Alabama, you better do it on the pack, or you sure ain't gonna do it on the run.
Yes, sir. Let's look. I would love for.
It's gonna cut you down.
Yep, that's right. Well, we appreciate your phone call, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So, all right, let me go back to the first caller. I didn't understand the old question he asked about Texas. Look, Texas, give Texas all the credit in the world. I thought they outplayed Alabama for the most part. In the end, Bryce Young was Bryce Young, and I think that was the difference. Just about any other quarterback in the country, given the rest of the team's performance that day, just about any other quarterback probably would have lost that game. I'm not sure how many other quarterbacks could have made a comeback like that, because you would have to be extremely mobile. You'd have to be pinpoint with your passing, and you have to be extremely cool. And he was all of those things. And it's kind of interesting to me that Bryce Young can, play Texas and play Utah State, sling it around a pretty good bit, not have any picks. He has 2 interceptions against La Monroe. The first one sort of went off a receiver's. No, the one of them sort of went off a receiver's hands. The second one, the first one, I think he just never saw the safety. He was going to throw it deep, and he underthrew it a little bit, and the safety made a great play. But going back to the Auburn stuff here just for a second, you got to wonder. I think Saturday is going to tell where this team's head is too, collectively, because, man, people have been killing you all week. People have been killing your coach, and that we've seen an Auburn team whose coach is getting killed in Tuberville. We've seen the team rally around him. Now that team had 4 first-round picks on it. This team doesn't have that. But maybe it can be a rallying cry.
Well, look, I'm
trying, Andy.
To the point about he doesn't look like he cares that much. I think that's just Harsin and his demeanor on the sideline. He's not going to blow up on the sideline. Now he's intense, but he doesn't let his emotions show all that much. I'm sure it eats him up alive. He doesn't like. He hates to lose. I don't have any doubt about that. However, there is a part of me that, look, because you brought up the unpleasantness of last year and the coup, the attempted coup, and everything, and even the investigation's one thing. All the stuff about him and his secretary and all that is a separate that's another issue. And if I said it at the time. Look, I wouldn't blame him if he just walked away and said, "Look, I don't want to be a part of this." Now, he didn't. He said he wanted to be here. However, judging how recruiting is going, judging from what I hear from my friends that cover recruiting and how this staff has approached recruiting, I can't help but wonder if I can't be in his head, but I wonder if he sits there and thinks, they're going to fire me, really, no matter what I do. They don't want me. They never wanted me. I'm not really going to bust myself. I'll put a recruiting class together, and, they'll fire me at the end. I'll collect my check, and I'll be gone, and they'll get whatever they deserve. Part of me says he may very well be justified in feeling that way and acting that way. Another part of me says, if you say you want to be here and you say you want to give it all, then give it your all, and whatever happens, happens. That's easy for me to say, but this was clearly, by all indications, a bad marriage from the beginning, and it's headed for an ugly divorce.
You heard of quiet quitting? That's the new thing, where you just go to work and do the absolute bare minimum. I mean, just the bare minimum. And it feels like he's quiet quitting. It feels like, and again, I'm not trying to, I'm not in his head either. I'm just saying, you know how I follow recruiting. You know I talk to people in the recruiting circles. I can tell you the reputation of this entire staff is they recruit, but they don't recruit like the rest of this league's recruiting. No. I mean, this rest of this league is dialing people up at 2 a.m. They're dialing people up at 2:30 in the morning. They're every time somebody shows up, they know what their favorite food of their aunt, their uncle, their cousin, anybody that they brought. They know them all by name when they show up. They do all those things, and it feels like this crew isn't doing that. And maybe they are, but I can tell you when the perception is you aren't.
Yeah.
And
if they are doing that, they're doing
a bad job.
They're doing a bad job of it.
But you
know,
know,
look, I'll say I don't mean to cut y'all, but going the Penn State game. Look, at the beginning of that, I mean, at halftime, I was sitting there, and you said, you know, yeah, I mean, and you're right. Penn State was the more physical team. They out athleted Auburn. There's no question about that. However, at the end of the first half, Auburn had more passing yards. They had more rushing yards. Both teams were 4 of 7 on third down. I mean, Penn State came out of the gate. The crowd was electric. Auburn stopped them legitimately on fourth down. After that big hit that just, you know, riled everybody up, Auburn goes right down the field. If they punch it in there and go up 7-0, you know, it might be a different kind of game. Because, I mean, it was an even game, but other than the score. But yet at halftime, I felt like, golly, we look inept offensively. And they look like they're just kind of getting cranked up, and at some point they're going to kind of take over. So, you know, it was evenly played on the field in the first half. The second half, it was, I mean, Auburn, obviously the players kind of felt the same way because they were just like in the second half, once that long on that first play, that 60-yard run for a touchdown, they were like, oh, well. Yeah. Because I literally said, that's ball game.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
And it was, obviously. But, you know, it kind of reminds me of last night I was watching the Monday night game, Buffalo hosting Tennessee. Buffalo goes down pretty easily, scores a touchdown, crowd's geeked, you know, and then Tennessee comes right back, and they score a touchdown. And you're like, okay, this can be a good game. But it's like a lot of games. At the very beginning, you have this little feeling out period. I just really believe this. Given the same scenario, if those two teams play 10 times, Penn State's winning 8 or 9 of them, if not all of them. I just think Penn State's better. They got a better quarterback. All you have to do is look at the two quarterback situations. I mean, one of them, Sean Clifford's not going to start in the NFL, but he's a good college quarterback. Mm-hmm. Auburn doesn't have one. They just don't have one. Now, if they do have one, he's somewhere on the depth chart we hadn't seen him play yet. So maybe Holden Gerner, maybe Zach Calzada will be the answer. But I don't think it's any one of these other two guys.
It doesn't matter who plays quarterback if it's 30. If you're giving up 36 quarterback pressures, in the game.
I had a question.
11 tackles for loss and 6 sacks.
Do the sacks count as pressures too? Because you were talking, you had that stat earlier, and it blew me away. Because there were only like X amount of dropbacks, and
I don't think there were. There may have been at most 50 passes called.
Oh, okay, that's
called.
Let's call it 50 passes, and there were like 30-something pressures.
36.
Okay, and I don't think the sacks count as a pressure, do they? But if they don't, what that means is like 90% of the time you drop back, somebody's on your butt.
Every play. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
Our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Hey guys, this is Nate Pass with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Only about 20 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Let's go to the interweb and do some comments.
On Facebook Live, the folks that are listening, Anthony Bramberg, and I'm going to need him to clean this up a little bit just to understand it, but he said Brian Harsin was in attendance, and he might have been more impressed with him than those 5 stars that Carver has. Carver only had 4 sacks as a team the entire game. I know that Brian Harsin, I think, went to the Carver game the other night, and then the 2 Carver stars, James Smith and Quay Russell, went to the Auburn game. But I'm not sure exactly where he's going with that.
What did he say again?
I don't. You want me to read it again?
Yeah,
let's just try it again. Brian Harsin was in attendance, and he might have been more impressed with him than those 5 stars that Carver has. Carver only had 4 sacks as a team the entire game. I don't know what that means. I appreciate you listening.
I don't know. He was more impressed with Penn State than I don't know because they had 6 sacks instead of 4. I don't know. I don't know
if he's talking about the Carver game or the.
I don't know.
All right,
he was more impressed with himself.
Yeah, maybe.
That's 2 5-stars.
Anthony, we just need you to clean it up, bro. That's all. Because we want to know what you're saying. Bill Lawler says we need to make a generational type hire as our next coach. Get it right. Who would be at the top of the wish list right now, guys? First of all, is there a generational guy out there? I mean, do you know of one? I mean, I don't know of one. People could say Lane Kiffin, okay, but Lane brings some baggage with him.
He's not a general. Look at his Ole Miss's recruiting class is in the 30s right now, or 40s.
Yeah, it's fine.
Look, if you want to go to the next level, if you want to go, which I do, and this is what I've been saying, and I get it. I know who Auburn is. I've been around for a long time. I know who Auburn is. They back-to-back 10-win seasons only once. So I get it. 88, 89. But if you want to go to the next level, you need 3 consecutive top 5 recruiting classes.
That's true.
3 consecutive top 5. Now, who can get you that? I don't know. I mean, Hugh Freeze is that kind of guy. Now, he was put on probation at Ole Miss for kind of doing that, but those kind of restrictions have been lifted. So,
well, he said, Okay, Anthony says, I was referring to the previous comment I had about Stanhope's quarterback, but that's not on my Facebook thing. So I guess I missed that, but it's for whatever reason, it's not showing up on my Facebook thing. Sorry about that, Anthony. Didn't mean to get anything confused. Now, so, again, I'm the resident Bammer, so, who do I want Auburn to hire? Look, I can tell you this. The names are thrown out there. Randy's idea of Deion Sanders, I love Deion Sanders. I love him as a person. I think he's great. I like him and Saban having a relationship. All that's cool. I just don't. You want to go from Jackson State because he got Travis Hunter to come there and go from Jackson State to Auburn immediately? That's what you want Auburn to be his training ground? I don't see that ending very well. God bless Randy. I understand what he's saying. You would make a splash. You would be interesting. If you hire Lane Kiffin, you would be interesting. But, there is something – and I love Lane Kiffin. When he was offensive coordinator at Alabama – everything was everything, right? Until Nick Saban couldn't stand it anymore and had to fire him before the national championship game, before the playoffs, and we ended up losing the national championship game to Hunter Renfrow and company. So what I'm saying is there's always some little backdoor caveat there too. Hugh Freeze. Look, everybody's in love with Hugh Freeze, and he did beat Alabama twice, and kudos to him. Now, the second time Alabama turned the ball over 5 times, and Ole Miss did it none. But okay, what else has he done? Because he could have gone to the SEC title game. All they do is beat Arkansas that year, and Arkansas wasn't very good, and they didn't.
Yeah.
At Liberty, he's been okay. He's been okay. They almost beat Wake Forest the other day. But do you really feel comfortable with Hugh Freeze? I honestly, the one that I'd find the most intriguing is the coach at Carolina right now, and that's Matt Rule. I think he would be interesting. Would he go to Auburn? I don't know. Dave Aranda at Baylor, would he leave Baylor to go to Auburn? I don't know. But I think there are other answers out there. And here's another thing I want to throw out there that Kyle Hamby said. He said, is there anyone on the staff worth retaining other than Cadillac and Etheridge? And look, again, resident Bammer here speaking, Auburn fan, shoot me down. I think that's part of Auburn's problem. Clean the house, y'all. If you want to get better, find somebody that's going to bring their dudes in. Bring their dudes in. Don't tell them you got to have Cadillac. Don't tell them you got to have Mike Bobo. Don't tell them you got to have Derek Mason. Don't tell them you got to have Etheridge or Ike Hilliard or anybody. Start afresh and let somebody come in and do their thing. And I understand Cadillac is an Auburn legend. He can still be an Auburn legend. He doesn't have to stop being an Auburn legend. But to me, that's the incestuousness of it all. And I understand Alabama's got that too. The whole reason we hired Mike Dubose is because of that. The whole reason. One of the reasons we hired Ray Perkins is because of that. So my point is, bring a dude in and let him do his thing, and then learn to love around him from that. And just because he once played at Auburn, none of that matters. And especially doesn't matter now in a transfer portal era. People are going to be renting players left and right. We used to joke about Cam Newton, rent a quarterback. Everybody's a rent of something now. Everybody. And so this whole idea that you grew up with War Eagle or Roll Tide in your heart is great for us fans. That's not how it's going to be with players anymore. And Drew Sanders, he could be SEC Player of the Year for Arkansas. He's killing it. He's awesome. He was at Alabama, and he just looked over there and saw Dallas Turner and Will Anderson and said, I think I could go somewhere else and be a superstar. And, we didn't want him to leave. Alabama didn't push him out the door. Nick Saban begged him to stay. But he wanted to go do his own thing, and I think he still likes Alabama. Jalen Hurts, I know he still loves Alabama. But his opportunity was somewhere else if he really wanted to go be a pro. He knew he couldn't play over Tua. So, it's just the way things are. You got to branch out a little bit is my point. Now, again, Auburn fans call me crazy. I don't understand the family. Okay, keep doing it.
I don't think, to Kyle's point, I don't think he's talking about retaining those two guys because necessarily they're Auburn guys. I think he's talking about recruiters on the staff. Ike Hilliard may be one of the better. Seems to be the best one.
And I'm asking this very seriously. Okay,
I agree with you 100%. If you bring in a coach, he has to have carte blanche. If he wants to retain him, wonderful. If he does not,
again, I'm not saying it never works because obviously you look at Nate Oates, he kept Antoine Petway, and he's been one of the best recruiters in the league. I would say that's probably a little different, especially given the circumstances. But do you really think Cadillac has been I'm not saying this to insult Cadillac Williams. I think Cadillac Williams is a great player. He's an Auburn legend. There's no doubt. But has he been like we can't lose him running back coach?
I don't know as there is a can't lose running back coach in the country.
Maybe. But I'll tell you this. I felt like when Eddie Gran was on his game at Auburn, a lot of people wanted that dude. Eddie Gran was a dude when he was good. Now
it helps when you bring in dudes.
I understand. And I'm just saying, has there been anybody come after Cadillac Williams that we know about? I haven't heard of anything. Now, maybe Cadillac's so ingrained in Auburn, I don't know. Same thing with Etheridge. I don't know. But
well, I mean, he really hadn't been a coach. This is kind of his learning, really.
And we got a call I want to get to, but Jim Hardy said, Luke, what about Alabama's OC to Auburn? I'm all for it. Sort of like, look, I was a believer in Bill O'Brien. I'm sort of, I can't understand how this thing can't get untracked with the crew we got. It just seems like it's just not working, and I don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't work out. But you got you talk about generational quarterback. I love me some Bryce Young. That dude's special. You got a great running back, I think, in Jahmyr Gibbs. And you got some wide receivers. Yes, another caller asked about them. They're not Gibbs. They're not Ruggs and Waddle and Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy. They're not Jameson Williams, but they're not bad. And it feels like there's just a disconnect. You want to go ahead and take this call?
Sure. Get it in quick.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I was just wanting to comment about the coaching search at Auburn.
Okay.
This is a candidate I don't think you guys have thought about coaching for Auburn. What about Urban Meyer?
I've thought about him, and I know some other people have thought about him. If Urban Meyer gets back into coaching, I'd be a little bit shocked. And I'll tell you something, if people aren't leery of Urban Meyer at this point, I mean, I'm just telling you, I feel like wherever he goes, he leaves a wake of destruction.
Yeah, I agree, but I just don't understand what goes on down at Auburn. I mean, it's a black cloud. It's a great university. I mean, my question would be, now, how did Coach Dye survive all them years, all the programs he had? Because we know the problems they have behind the curtains, people pulling the strings. How did he perform and have those great teams over the years?
Well, I think it was a different era, number one. Number two, I think he had a great relationship with those guys. He used those guys to the maximum of what they could bring to the program, and they had so much respect for him that it was a great relationship until it wasn't.
Well, and
that lasted 12 years.
Pat Dye you talk about the good old boy network. Is there any more good old boy ever than Pat Dye? And Pat Dye came to Auburn at the absolute perfect time. If Pat Dye had come to Auburn 5 years earlier or 5 years later, things may have been different because maybe Bo Jackson ends up at Alabama. Who knows? But Pat Dye knew to go after Bo. He made that happen. He knew Auburn had to get tougher, and he knew that Bear Bryant was on his last leg, and he was, literally. And Pat Dye sort of took over the state from that. So, I mean, the timing was perfect for a guy like Dye. If Dye were coming in this era, I mean, for that matter, think of any coaches, Gene Stahl, I mean, they'd be in trouble. Yeah. You still with us?
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I love the program. It's watch TV every Tuesday night.
Oh, man, thank you for that. We appreciate it. We like to have fun up here. So don't be a stranger, okay? You keep calling us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
Our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We were in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Thank you for the phone calls. Thank you for the comments. Keep those rolling in, 256-234-6221. Everybody's got an opinion about this. I mean, my goodness, we're already – I usually always say, look, there is no opening right now at Auburn. However, I did say at the beginning of the program that there are two openings, that Nebraska and Arizona State – I feel comfortable go ahead and saying there's 2.5 openings. Brian Hartson's got the job, but he will not. He will not be the coach at Auburn next year. There is no path forward that's going to happen. So I'm okay with it. If you got a suggestion about the head coach, and who would you like to see it replace? Who do you think? I mean, what's the wise decision? That's what I said today on the Auburn Blitz. We've got to have somebody. I mean, welcome to the job, Rich McGlynn. Okay, until we hire a real AD, you're the interim. You and Christopher Roberts have to make a calculated, wise decision to say, okay, what's the best path forward for Auburn? Because we're coming off a recruiting class in the 30s. Right now, it's in the 50s. It's number 54 in the country. It might get better with some quantity, but Auburn's going to lose a whole lot. You better bring a guy now. You can go to the transfer portal and you can revamp a team a lot quicker than you used to could. But you better bring in somebody that knows what they're doing, has got some experience, and absolutely is a monster recruiter. That has to be almost the number one thing. If he's a Christian, that's great. But that can't be number 5, 1 through 5. That can't even be number 10 on the profile right now.
It's so funny how quickly we throw all our morals out. I mean, and I'm not making fun of Auburn. Alabama does it too. Everybody does it too. If you go to a lot of times, if you go to an Auburn board, it's, he's not an Auburn man. People would jump into a ring of fire for Lane Kiffin right now. I mean, they would.
I don't want Kiffin, but go ahead.
But or Hugh Freeze, or we just had a caller say he wasn't advocating for him, but he brought up Urban Meyer, and I was thinking, y'all know we just had this whole documentary about this murderer that Urban Meyer had on his team, and that he apparently knew some of the sketchy stuff behind all this stuff. And then he goes to Ohio State and gets them in trouble. Then he ends up in Jacksonville, and everybody hates him so badly over there that it just finally like, you just can't be here anymore. You know, he is the antithesis of what I would consider most people believing an Auburn man to be.
He's literally got his thumb up.
He's really just a bad person. It's shocking to me. It's not that shocking because Fox is Fox. But it's a little shocking that he's still, like, even in the broadcast booth. When I look at him, I think, that's just a scummy dude. You know what I mean? He's just a scummy dude.
I will say this for Deion Sanders. He could recruit. There's no question in my mind that he could recruit. However, and I think another added to it, and let's just be perfectly honest here, Auburn would be the darling of the media. They would go out of their way to give Auburn the benefit of the doubt and to pump them up to try to succeed and hope they succeeded. So, you know, there's that added to it. Would he be a good coach? I mean, look, I've never liked Deion as opposed to you. But I think he's a smart guy, and I think he's smart enough to be able to put a staff together. But it would be a bit of a risk.
And again, I know, and I think he's probably a good recruiter too. But to be a good recruiter at Jackson State, you basically pool all your resources. And I know he says this isn't what happened, but it sure seems like that's what happened. And you go get the best player in the country. You like just all in for him and then see what happens. And of course, it didn't hurt that Deion Sanders' son is a pretty good prospect, and he brought him over there. And then he's gone to use the transfer portal pretty well. But could he really wrangle in Auburn boosters who like to meddle? Would he like to deal with that? And I can hear Randy, if he's listening right now, going, good. I don't want their input. He need their money, though.
Yeah.
And if you want their input, if you want their money, you got to have their input. Now, yes, a really strong-willed person could make everybody get on the same page, a.k.a. Nick Saban, a.k.a. Pat Dye. You know, you could do that. But could Deion do it at Auburn? I mean, you talk about it. That's not an easy transition from Jackson State to Auburn. It's just not.
No.
To big-time SEC every week football from Jackson State. He had so little pressure going to Jackson State. You know what I mean? And then the other thing, of course, if you're trying to look for the future, and I know some people don't, but if Florida State ever called, would he go home? If the NFL called, would he ever go home? You know, if he does succeed at Auburn short term, the first thing that would happen is the NFL team would call him.
Sure.
Of course, that could happen to anybody. I mean, Baylor found that out with Matt Rule, but that's why I come back to Matt Rule. I think that is a great hire. He can recruit enough, and he's a really good coach. He had Baylor on the precipice of going to the college football playoff. And he's got NFL experience. He can actually say, hey, I know about NFL. Now, I don't think him and Cam get along too well. Maybe Cam doesn't show up on the sidelines anymore. Would y'all be willing to forego that if the guy was pretty good?
I don't know as he shows up a lot now.
Yeah, he shows up some. But Matt Rule would be the one, to me, as an Alabama fan, that I'd go, okay, that's a really good hire. Everybody else I could probably pick apart a little bit, like because I don't care about, okay, he didn't work out at Carolina. That's all right. Didn't work out. I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm not worried about it.
The best guy's probably the guy I've never heard of. And, you know,
Lance Leipold?
I told it's, you know, it's a bit of there's an element of luck that goes along with it, and timing and all these kind of things. So,
and meanwhile, as you said, Brian Harsin is still collecting his check right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if Brian Harsin were watching this, he'd be like, y'all know I'm right here listening to all this, right? Y'all are talking about me as if I'm not here.
At this point, Brian Harsin knows what the score of the game is. We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA Weekly Show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Hey everybody, this is Brett Pritchard, voice of your Benjamin Russell Wildcats. It's that time of year again, time for the 2022 football season. Join us each week for TV replays here on WAXC TV3 for Benjamin Russell Wildcat football. Wildcat football is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sale. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Luke Robinson here with you until 9 o'clock. Give us a call, 256-234-6221, and we'll go back to the phone line.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey there.
Hello.
Andy, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to call twice a day. I'm not. This is James up in Birmingham.
James, it's that kind of day, brother. I need another call.
Oh, yeah. Not another one from me. I'm going to be a little calmer. I've had my medicine. Hey, Luke, when y'all were going after Saban, who did most of the work on that? Wasn't it the athletic director?
Yeah, it was Mal Moore. Mal Moore, actually, we had a joke running in our little friend group where Mal Moore flew to Miami to go talk to Saban again because he had initially said no. Yeah. So he flew back, and we said if he doesn't bring him back this time, he might as well just fly on to Cuba.
Right. Well, here's my point. I'm not obviously. I'd root for a bunch of. Well, I wouldn't say. I can't say that on the air. I'd root for anybody before I would Alabama. You know that, and vice versa.
Yes, sir.
But I'm pointing out something, Andy. I tried to say it this morning. I don't think I said it very well. But I will say this, that your athletic director, that's what he's hired for or she's hired for. That's to, be over that department. I mean, and, of course, you have to answer to the powers above, the president and the board, ultimately. But the difference was Mal Moore stayed on that thing, and he kept his job. Now, yeah, this guy Green down there, he hired Harsin, and first thing they did was make it sound like a wrestling match on studio wrestling like we used to have up here in Birmingham on Saturday night. You knew who was going to win, you knew who was going to lose. Until we get that through our heads, the board has every right to do whatever they want to. You do something 15 times, though, you start looking and you start thinking, what's up here? This is like being in a live studio wrestling card. They're going to hire who they want to. Like I told Andy this morning, while in Alabama, it's the same way. While those trustees they have a lot of money, they do a lot for the school, but let the athletic director do his job. If you do that, because those people do not own those universities, we do, the people. And I ain't getting off on a political thing. It just burns me up every time we do the same thing over and over. And I wanted to get that to you because I'm pointing out a little difference there for a purpose. But I really am burned up. All that guy did was do his job. There you go. The president approved it. Bingo. All that got us was a general sitting over there, like I say every time. Had a general sitting over there running an inquisition that he couldn't even start or stop. And it was a conflict of interest on that. So, you know, they'll carry me out of here with Barnes and Blue on me. But I'm just, you know, that's what we're looking at. I got a bigger plate than you do. I got $5 more in the bank than you do. Well, it's like a damn food fight. Anyway, War Eagle, Andy, and I'll talk to you later, Luke.
Thank you, bud. Oh, that was good. All right, let's go ahead and get this other call. We'll address that. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Terry, what's up, buddy?
Doing great. Hey, guys, I hate to be the kind of guy that say I told you so, but I told you so.
You didn't tell me so. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I didn't make this point earlier, and I meant to, and I got off on a tangent. I know you're shocked. But I had said, look.
I'm astonished.
My whole thing has always been, if it must be done eventually, it must be done immediately. And after the coup, coup attempt that didn't work, there was no way on earth this was going to end well. It just couldn't. It couldn't. Everybody should have gotten together and said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Your buyout is $15 million. You don't really want to be here. Let us give you $10 million to walk away right now. We will issue an apology about the whatever, or we'll make sure that your name isn't dragged through the mud, and everybody go about their merry way. You have $10 million. You don't have to be in Auburn anymore, and we don't have to have you. That would have been mutually beneficial. Instead, everybody acted as if it didn't happen, and now that something bad has happened, a.k.a. the Penn State loss, people are dragging this stuff up again. I mean, he's being eviscerated, and you know, it's probably not fair to him, really. And you know, you're right though. In the end, you did tell everybody this, and I will give you kudos for that.
Well, see, look, what bothers me the most about this whole thing is all of y'all are saying right now what I've been saying since they hired this idiot. So, I mean, he was a bad fit. I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't. I just think he's a terrible fit. And I never one time believed he liked Auburn. And I am 100% convinced his family didn't. And you guys know as well as I do, if Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Terry, and again, I'm not trying to, like, prey on a stereotype or look at a photo and say and make all these judgments. I mean, I'm trying not to do that. We live in a different age, right? But there's this photo, and this is from an Alabama perspective. There was a photo when he first got here. Was like him and his family standing on the field, and just the outfits they were in. And again, if they were out west, or if they were in Atlanta, or if they were in New York, I think everybody doesn't think twice of it. But the outfits they were wearing on the field at Auburn, and I say this from a lot of Alabama fans saying it too, this ain't going to ever work. I mean, I remember when Mike Price got off the jet wearing a medium members-only jacket, and he's obviously a double extra large. And I thought, uh-oh, this isn't going to end well. I mean, it's just little things. If you knew Auburn, if you had actually been to the university or been to the city for that matter, you'd know, okay, I got to sort of get with the program. I can be my own person, but I got to get with the program a little bit. And it looked like they were trying out for Saved by the Bell Season 4. Am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right. That's a good one. I like that one, Luke.
But I'm saying just little things. Little things.
Like Mario Lopez and Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
That's exactly right. Just little things like that sometimes can be precursors to what's coming.
Well, it's like I've said before. Coaches have enormous egos, and they think it's because something works somewhere, it could work somewhere else. Not true. Not true at all. That's like saying because somebody has a college degree, that means they're smart. Not true. Not true at all. I know some real dummies that have college degrees. So, I mean, but it means you have the ability to work to get it, but it doesn't mean you have the intelligence. I never have bought that. I've never figured that out. But people just assume, it's like, I know guys that made tremendous scores on the ACT and the SAT, and they're dumb as bricks. But they just test well. They just do.
Agreed.
So, that's just the nature of the nature of it. I've just never thought from day one that he was a good fit. And I always thought that Alan Green did not have Auburn's best interest in mind. And that part of that was Brian Harsin. Now Alan Green's gone. His biggest supporter, the guy's got his back, he's gone. And my question to you guys, do y'all think it's too far now? Do y'all think it's gone too far? There's no turning back. That there's no way he can save his job. Even if he beat Missouri brains in, even if he beat LSU's brains in, do you think it's gone too far? They can't come back from this because he's still a bad recruiter.
I've said that since I showed up tonight. I think Andy's the same way. It's a point of no return.
It's got less to do with Harsin. I don't look at Auburn as a team and think they're capable of beating the brains out of Missouri and LSU.
No, absolutely not. There's enough talent on Auburn to be better than they are, but there's not the talent that needs to be.
And Terry, I do want to ask you this, and I'll let Andy chime in too when you hang up. Have we overestimated Auburn's talent? Maybe, and I say we. I really mean most Auburn fans, because obviously the SEC media picked them 7th in the West. But I mean, I look at the talent and I go, okay, tell me the guys on Auburn's team that would undoubtedly start at Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan. Or Clemson. I'm trying to pick out the 5, big schools. And normally you would say, okay, hey, there's somebody at blank school that we know would start there. Now they don't have anybody else, but they got one. Name the guys that would undoubtedly do that.
Well, the first one comes to mind is Tank Bigsby.
And you say Tank Bigsby, and I say maybe.
No, I think he would. I think he's that good. I really do. The other one's Owen Papao. I think he could play. Those two guys, but they're surrounded by a bunch of 3-stars, a bunch of guys who are talented, but they probably wouldn't be at Auburn any other year. So, and I'm going to back off something you asked me a couple of weeks ago, Luke, about who would I want to coach. Now, Brett was with you that night. He said, well, I know he wants Hugh Freeze or Lane Kiffin, and naturally those are two popular names. But I think it might be time for them to give somebody down the line a shot, somebody like a Jamie Chadwick. I mentioned him too. Somebody like that's just craving for a better job.
Yeah.
There's a hunger there that you cannot replace. And like I told you, I don't know much about Jamie Chadwick, but I know Carolina's a lot closer than Idaho.
That is true.
So maybe you can understand the culture a little better. I don't know. Instead of hearing, Saved by the Bell music, that's a great one, Luke. I like that a lot.
Feel free to use it somewhere else.
You guys take care.
See you, Terry.
Didn't AC play quarterback? Maybe we could use it.
He did.
And to prove Terry's point, I have a college degree.
Yeah, I was going to say I do too. Oops.
We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
It's back to school time, football season, and time to get ready for the holidays. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till next year? New Chevy Malibus as low as $349 a month. New Buicks take $3,000 off any model. New GMC Terrains as low as $399 a month, all with no payments till 2023.
Get 0% financing, no payments till 2023 at Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture.
But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Only about 40 more minutes left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for the calls and the texts and everything. 256-234-6221. Jim sent me Auburn's schedule for 2023. So if Auburn does have a new coach in 2023, here's what they will be facing. Open with UMass on September the 2nd at home. Then they'll travel all the way across the country to the Cal Bears on September the 9th. Come home to play Samford. On the road at Texas A&M. At home against Georgia. Take a week off after that.
God, will you need one?
I think you'll need one. After at A&M and Georgia back-to-back. Then you get to go on the road to Baton Rouge.
Jeez.
Come home to play Ole Miss. Mississippi State, back-to-back. Go ahead and get the Magnolia State out of the way. At Vandy, got to travel to Nashville. Follow that, a trip to Arkansas. Come home to play New Mexico State and Alabama in the Iron Bowl. So that's the schedule for 2023.
Love the fact that Vandy's your crossover. I mean, that's you feel
good.
like that's a win.
That's always good.
I'm fine with. I mean, I think Auburn should handle Cal. What a weird home and home. I mean, what a weird home and home. Now, I do have an Auburn friend of mine that's my neighbor. He's super excited about that game, not for the game because he's going to go travel Napa Valley while all that's happening and then go to the game, which makes sense. That's cool, but I think it's just a weird home and home. Anywho, but what's going to hurt, and right now I don't see how this is inescapable. I don't see how Auburn doesn't start 0-3 in the SEC next year because – Texas A&M is going to be better. Those dudes will be sophomores that they sign this year.
Unless they find a quarterback.
They will have to find a quarterback. There's zero doubt about that. But I have also belief that they will, at the very least, get a transfer quarterback. And that I'm telling you, their dudes will be dudes as sophomores unless there's a mass exodus, which is – I'm going to put that caveat in there. Then home against Georgia, I mean, that's going to be what that's going to be. And then on the road to LSU, and I think Brian Kelly's team will be a lot better next year. There are some folks – on national radio that are 100% convinced Brian Kelly will win a national championship at LSU. I'm not going to go that far. I do think that they will be pretty good next year, though. So let's say I think Auburn definitely would be an underdog to all three, and if they were to lose all three, you start out the SEC 0-3. What does that do to your morale? But the good news is I think you'd have a good shot to then go 3-0. You know, the Mississippis, and at least
At home.
Mississippi State will be having a monster turnover because they have like 17 seniors on the team. And then Vandy on the road, which is always – I'm going to tell you, Vandy is one of the best road trips in the league because you're drivable. You take over the gym. You do – I mean, I'm just telling you, it would be more Auburn fans than Vandy fans. And it's a win, so it would be fun. And it's Nashville. It's always fun. And now I think the game that may tell the tale will be at Arkansas because – again, Arkansas will probably be looking for a quarterback, I would think. KJ Jefferson will be gone. And I wonder where their season's going to head, because here's something that's weird to me. Make this make sense. A&M's favored by 2.5 over Arkansas this week.
Saw that.
Make it make sense.
I don't. Their defense is so bad, they figured that Texas A&M can score, and Texas A&M's defense is good. So they figured that Texas A&M sense against Arkansas's offense is a better matchup than A&M's offense versus Arkansas's defense.
Well, but A&M had no business beating a Miami team that did everything they could to screw the game up.
Yeah.
And if they seen Texas A&M's quarterbacks try to throw the forward pass,
it's a struggle.
It's a struggle. A&M would literally sell oil at $2 a barrel to get TJ Finley. That's how bad their quarterback situation is. Agreed? If they had TJ Finley, wouldn't you?
I'd trade him up right now for Max Johnson.
That's a weird. Like Auburn fans, like, yeah, we trade you, and Texas A&M fans, like, yeah, we trade you.
I
think both teams would be better if they made that trade. That's weird.
You know who I'd really like to have? That guy that played at A&M last year.
Oh, was that guy?
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Would A&M? Do you think A&M would like? I know at first we were thinking. A&M said slap back, no trade backs on Zach Calzada. Do you think they'd take him back right now?
Yes.
I do too.
Yes.
I do too.
But
we got another call.
Okay, let's ride it.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Guys, hey guys. Appreciate y'all letting me back on.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I owe you guys an apology. I wasn't insulting your college education. That's not what I was going with that. I was just trying to emphasize it. I think there's a point that people think because people have college degrees, they're automatically smart.
No. I was absolutely proving your point.
Frankly,
it's a valid point.
Frankly,
morons do graduate with college degrees. I'm in proof of it.
Frankly, Terry, we're too stupid to understand that you were insulting us.
Now, Luke, don't say it. You guys are both very smart men, and I appreciate what y'all do. But I just felt like that. I felt like I was out of line there, and I wanted to say that.
No. We didn't take it that way at all.
I was
the name of the game's making money, and there's a lot of guys in the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball making more money than you and I'll ever see.
In a year. In 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
In a month.
Yeah.
So,
in a game.
A month. And baseball and at bat.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it, man. I mean, it makes you wish I just stayed outside and shot free throws a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
That's all it took.
That's right. That's all it took.
And Andy, I would trade TJ Finley for a quarterback out of the grave. Take care, guys.
He would take right now. He would trade him for Roger Staubach. 87-year-old Roger Staubach. Put him out there. Get him some pass.
Hey, look, we know he's a winner. He'll find a way.
We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
I'm Chris Giddens, voice of the Devil Tigers right here on WAHC TV. Join us this year for the 102nd season of Devil Tiger football. All the way from Anniston to Beulah, with you every step of the way. Join us for television replays every week of the Devil Tigers right here on WAHC TV3. Brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Okay, somebody's not wearing their seatbelt.
I don't wear seatbelts. Might wrinkle my shirt.
That's okay. I'm sure they can iron it before the funeral.
What funeral?
Yours. Almost 70% of people who die in car crashes aren't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay. There. You happy?
just happy to be alive.
Seatbelts. It's hard to live without them. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
It's back to school time, football season, and time to get ready for the holidays. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till next year? New Chevy Malibus as low as $349 a month. New Buicks take $3,000 off any model. New GMC Terrains as low as $399 a month, all with no payments till 2023.
Get 0% financing, no payments till 2023 at Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Only about 30 more minutes left in tonight's show. 256-234-6221. The NFL is underway. We are 2 weeks into this thing. Biggest surprise team for you, Luke. What do you think? Dolphins at 2-0?
I'm going to say you might put the Dolphins in. The reason you put the Dolphins, let me tell you something, man. Look, I'm a college guy through and through. I've always said I don't want college to become the NFL. But if every game I ever watched was like that Dolphins-Ravens game this past weekend, that was crazy. I mean, it was in the middle of my daughter's 6th birthday, but a couple of dads and I would like sneak back into the different rooms to watch TVs. And the Dolphins were down 21 points going into the fourth quarter. In the NFL, that's over. You might as well call a game. It just never happens. And then to have Tua play the way he did after he's caused all this controversy in terms of people saying he can't play and he's, to this, to that, and throw for 470 yards and 6 touchdowns and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill doing their thing. And it was like watching old Marino and Duper and Clayton games. I mean, just sling it. Just let it go. And, God, it was so much fun. I mean, I don't know how – and Lamar Jackson, meanwhile, was putting on a show, doing his thing. He was crazy good. Then the Jets and Browns game was a ton of fun. You would think that game is like the stinker of all stinkers, and the Jets make this massive comeback. Last night, just watching the Bills play, I know it was a blowout, but the Bills are Josh Allen is he's superhuman.
More surprising, the Dolphins are 2-0, the Titans are 0-2.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably say I'm gonna say Dolphins 2-0. No, for the rest of the country, it's the Dolphins. For me, it's the Titans because the Titans really should have needed to beat the Giants. They need to beat the Giants.
Yeah, maybe I should say the Giants 2-0.
Giants 2-0 is pretty surprising. They're coached by Brian Daboll now. I don't think this can last because Jones just doesn't seem like a great quarterback to me. Barkley still hadn't really gotten himself going. But the Titans, just Ryan Tannehill. At some point, they're going to have to make the change to Malik Willis, I think. And now if you have Malik Willis, a threat to run, and you have Derrick Henry back there. The other thing is the Titans' offense, watching them last night, it was so obvious what they were doing. when they were going to have a little pitch out to Henry, I mean, the Bills were already there. I mean, like, they knew it was coming. And wow, yeah, I'm a Titans fan. I like the Titans. I like the Dolphins too. I've always liked the Dolphins, and I like the Falcons. The Falcons had a shot for a comeback for the ages against the Rams. They're there, and they force a turnover, and the next thing you know is Marcus Mariota throws it right back to them. And then the Cardinals and Raiders game.
Mariota's coach is quarterback in the Falcons.
Yeah, and he's doing it poorly. And then so the Raiders and the Cardinals. At first I'm watching that game. It's like 3:25 game, right? And it's just boring. I mean, the Raiders are just walloping them for a while. And then the Cardinals just keep chipping away. Then they got to have a 2-point conversion. And I know it sounds like you hadn't seen the highlight. Kyler Murray drops back. And, I mean, he's looking. He evades a couple of folks. He's looking, evades some more folks. Comes around, and then he just runs it in. The whole play took 8.2 seconds or something. That's an eternity for a 2-point conversion. And, I mean, it was crazy. And then, you know what they do? Hunter Renfrow fumbles, like on a drive. Raiders get it back. Whew. They throw it to him again. He fumbles again. This time the Cardinals pick it up and run it back for a touchdown in overtime. It's over.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's actually, I don't even know if they went to – did they go to overtime? I can't even remember. Regardless, it ended the game. And it's just crazy that the NFL has had these kind of games to start out with because, we think of it as being so bland, but the game has really evolved. I mean, it's not – yes, the NFL still is mostly pro style and all this other stuff, but it's exciting. I mean, these quarterbacks they have now.
Well, I would say, last year, the playoffs, that Bills-Chiefs.
That's about as good as it gets.
I watched that, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Look, there have been great games in the NFL forever. You go back to the drive with the Broncos and the
Immaculate
Browns.
Reception.
Yeah, I mean, there were all these great, thrilling things that happened, but you didn't see 14 points scored in 17 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that's new, but,
here's another thing, and you're not a fantasy guy, I know, but no fantasy running back has had 17 points or more for both games so far. That's kind of nuts. It tells you that receivers are where it's at. There's Tyreek Hills, the Diggs, the Waddles. They're the ones killing it right now. Last night, watching Jalen Hurts, if you had told any Alabama fan Jalen Hurts would be killing it like he's doing in the pros, they would have told you you're nuts. But he's the best story in the league to me. I mean, he comes to Alabama. He's not even the best quarterback they signed. People think he's sort of an afterthought, may move to running back. He comes in that USC game, sort of the whole thing begins. He goes to the national championship. Then he gets supplanted in halftime of the national championship the next year, even though he'd been playing really well for most of his career. And then you think, okay, he's going to transfer. He stays for the whole year behind Tua. And then he ends up going to Oklahoma. He's the only guy I know, the only quarterback I know who has played in a college football playoff all 4 years, like actually got on the field, all 4 years. Then he goes to Philadelphia. Everybody's like, this is an experiment. He wins a starting job there. And last night, he's doing things Mike Vick did. It's just crazy. The NFL is really kind of must-watch TV, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, because they think they're overpaid, they're this, they're that. But, man, I'm telling you, you're missing out. I mean, it is – even the Bengals-Cowboys game was a ton of fun. I was pulling for the Bengals just because I want them to be good. I mean, Burrow's a good story too, hometown boy doing well. Jamar Chase, very good. And the Cowboys don't even have Dak Prescott. They've got somebody named Cooper Rush back there playing quarterback. And the Bengals make this huge comeback, and the Cowboys win on the last-second field goal. I mean, it's just – it's been a lot of fun.
I can think of no greater testament to Gus Malzahn if Malik Willis wins the Super Bowl. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with, more right after this.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Harold Orthodontics of Alex City has one simple mission: provide the region's most advanced diagnostic technology for you and your family's orthodontic and air passageway needs. At Harold Orthodontics, it's not just beautiful smiles, but revolutionary options for your family's orthodontic needs, as well as sleep apnea and jaw joint disorder relief. Dr. Harold and his caring staff provide the most accurate diagnosis to relieve the pain or frustration of sleep apnea and TMJ discomfort. Trust Harold Orthodontics. Call for a consultation at 256-234-6353.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Now is the best time to sell your current home, as it's a seller's market, meaning that on average you can get up to 96% of your asking price. Who's the most aggressive and most experienced to help you sell your home?
Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker, Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. We are getting a 96% return on our listing price to sales price in this area. Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
GillsOpelika.info. Get pre-approved in minutes online at GillsOpelika.info for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Gills Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Only a couple more segments left. In tonight's show, as I mentioned, there are some interesting games this weekend. Let's make some predictions. Clemson is a 7-point favorite on the road at number 21, Wake Forest, who is also 3-0. Wake Forest beat Liberty over the weekend. Wake Forest, you know, they were really good last year. They can score. Clemson has kind of been, you know, has not
defensively,
been great.
they're strong.
Offensively,
they lackluster. I'm going to say this: either Wake Forest wins or Clemson wins because they make a quarterback change. I don't think Clemson wins without making a change to Cade Klubnik, who's a 5-star true freshman. And I feel like look, neither one of them is going to be Trevor Lawrence, but I think he can come in and make a difference.
Ukulele, not going to get it done.
DJ Uiagalelei, I think his days are numbered. Numbered A-Day.
Transfer to Auburn?
Good, yeah, that's what y'all need, another quarterback that can't throw. You know, it's funny. My brother was talking to one of his friends, said something like, yeah, I think TJ Finley hurt his non-throwing shoulder. And my brother said, that's a shame, hurt both of them. I can't believe it.
Yeah. He said, how could you tell? Number 17, Baylor, 2-1, is on the road at Iowa State. Iowa State 3-point favorite in this one. They are undefeated right now.
Iowa State lost to Iowa, didn't they?
No, they did not. They beat Iowa.
They did beat Iowa?
Yeah.
Okay. That game, oh, that's right. That was like a 10-7 game. And Iowa, yeah, that's right. Okay, now it's all coming back to me. Look, Iowa State is good. I think Dave Aranda and Baylor are pretty good. They did take it on the chin against BYU, but that was closer than the score indicated, I guess, because even though it wasn't a blowout, it went to double
Went to
overtime.
overtime,
Two
yeah.
overtimes, I think. But anyway,
Well, I
but then,
think
of course, BYU goes to Oregon and gets slapped. I think I'll go with Iowa State.
I'll go
Matt
with
Campbell
Baylor.
and the Fighting Sykes.
I'm going Baylor, coming in to upset them.
Why not?
There will be
'Cause there's no consequences.
They'll calm down the cyclone.
Yeah.
Duke is undefeated 3-0 on the road at a surprising Kansas.
You don't just
3-0.
walk into whatever
You
Kansas
don't walk
Field's
into
name.
Jayhawk Municipal Stadium and expect to come out with anything less than a dead bird. They are 7.5-point favorite, the Jayhawks.
Would that game be a sellout if it were played at Hamp Lion?
It would only be a sellout if there was a basketball involved.
But what a great game! I mean, I hope it's on. If it's on FS1, does it show?
Yes, it is.
That
11
game,
o'clock.
you know, that game deserves a little more attention. 2-3-0 game, 2-3-0 teams.
But can't we say, doesn't Les Miles deserve a lot of credit here for building this Kansas team?
I saw the weirdest picture come before I got here. A friend of mine sent it to me. It was Pat Sajak, Les Miles, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if that sounds like the beginning of a joke.
That's
like
an odd
the Pope
bunch.
was with them.
Yeah.
But
Or
okay,
was Vanna?
I'm gonna go Kansas at home.
Yeah, why not? I like that. Marshall is a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Troy. I think this one's up for grabs.
Just like the last game that Troy played in when the ball was up for grabs and it fell into the hands of Appalachian State.
This one, oddly enough, on NFL Network.
That is odd. I like Marshall.
Okay. I'll go with Troy. Hey, roll with the Trojans. Florida's on the road at Tennessee, number 20 versus number 11. The Vols a 10.5-point favorite.
I like Florida to cover and Tennessee to win.
Okay. I can handle that. This is your 2:30 CBS game, by the way.
Game day.
What was Florida? Inexplicable that, with them in South Florida better than we think? Florida not as good as we think.
Has anybody started out with a
How
tougher
bad
schedule?
does Utah feel, by the way?
Utah feels bad.
Yeah.
Well, all they had to do was not throw an interception at the goal line.
That'll help. Notre Dame 1-2 on the road at North Carolina, who is shockingly 3-0.
And not only that, North Carolina's beaten App State.
Yeah.
They went on the road and beat who was the other team they played? Georgia State.
Yes.
I like North Carolina to win this game.
I think 2 points is low.
I think they win it handily. Why does anybody think Notre Dame? I know Notre Dame invented the forward pass. I'm not sure they can throw one now.
They more resemble the box than
Yeah.
the forward. Yeah, it's not very good. Oregon bounced back last week. Bo Nix looked good. And I believe I remember saying on this program last week, he'll look great against BYU and then lose against maybe, I don't know, Washington State. They play on the road at Washington State, who is 3-0, by the way. Do the Ducks continue to quack?
I think the duplicitous Bo Nix, good Bo, bad Bo, rears its ugly head. Bad Bo shows up. Washington State, who has already gone on the road and defeated Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think that bad Bo shows up, or they make Bo look bad. But Bo has accounted for, is it 5 touchdowns in 2 games now?
That's something like
2
that.
games in a row for Oregon?
Good for him. I wish him the best.
Do you think Bo Nix will have a relationship with Auburn the way Alabama has a relationship with Jalen Hurts?
Perhaps. But I don't know because it'll be different because Bo Nix will be selling insurance. Number 10, Arkansas.
Will he be selling it in Lee County?
No, probably in Birmingham area. Arkansas, the number 10 team in the country, for some reason is a underdog playing Texas A&M at A&T Stadium. And for some reason, other than I can fathom, Texas A&M is ranked number 23 in the country. This one, Aggies 2.5 favorite. What do you think?
This is one of those, the Sharks and the Sharps know more than I do. The easy money, I feel like I'm just taking a wad of money and saying, here, give it back to me when Arkansas wins, and they're not going to give it back. Because I'm going to bet on Arkansas. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to bet on this game, and I'm going to bet on Arkansas. And I'm going to lose. I don't know why I'm going to lose, but see, everybody's going to point to Arkansas's pass defense is like the worst in Division I. That's great. Have you seen Texas A&M's quarterback?
Both of them.
And do you feel like they're any good?
Negative.
Okay, so I personally am going to take the Arkansas Razorhawks.
I don't know how you could not. Alabama's favored by 40 over Vandy. Do they cover?
I don't think Alabama covers. I think Vandy's got in fact, I would take the over in this game. I think Vandy will score some points. They've got they've made a switch at quarterback. I think they've gone to like the more traditional quarterback now versus the guy that was running all over the place, which seems like a bad time to do that playing Alabama. I mean, I would not want to be a pro-style quarterback facing off against Alabama right now. But regardless, I don't think Alabama covers. I think the over hits, whatever it is.
Missouri is at Auburn. Auburn is a 7-point favorite. That one again.
Andy. Boy, I'll tell you. I know a lot of people love Robbie Ashford and been wanting him to take over. I think Terry's wanting him to take over, all this other stuff. I think there's a reason DJ Finley was the starter. I don't think Brian Arson's dumb. I think he wants to win. I just don't think they have the talent along the lines. That's the problem. And Missouri is not very good. Auburn's pass defense has not been very good. I will say Auburn wins by 4 points.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I think the combination of Ashford's talent and his ability to throw the football is better and gives Auburn a better chance to win. However, he's not ready. But he's never – I mean, the only way to get him ready is to let him play, and we're in that position now. So either put him out there or put Sawyer Pate out there. I don't care. But T.J. Finley's not going to be playing Saturday. That's actually a relief. I think it's a relief for everybody, including T.J. Finley. So we got to take a break.
Could you imagine if he went out there and threw like a pick on the first drive?
Who?
TJ. If he were healthy.
Yeah, he'd be booed off the field.
I said, and you hate it.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Maybe he could ride off on a moped. We'll be back with one final segment of the Auburn. I made it all show without saying it. We'll be back with one final segment of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Attention! Have a loved one been diagnosed with cancer after using Zantac or other heartburn medications for several months? You may be entitled to compensation. Call Zantac Justice now for a free legal case review. The FDA has warned that Zantac and other medications containing heartburn drug ranitidine may be contaminated with cancer-causing agent NDMA. Consult your physician prior to discontinuing any use of medication.
Please call 800-379-5986.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world. of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Lou closing things out to 9 o'clock here. Happy birthday yesterday to the great Bill Medley, half of the Righteous Brothers. You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
That's great.
Great song. Unchained Melody. Ghost.
Ghost ruined it.
It is a great song, but yeah, you're probably right. Soul and Inspiration, a little lesser known, but one of the best ones. You are my soul and my high inspiration.
Now I wish I didn't know it again.
How about The Time of My Life? The medley from Dirty Dancing.
They sang that?
Not he did, along with Jennifer Warren.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And finally, a little out of there. Friday night's a great night for football. Do you remember the last Boy Scout? This was the song.
I do.
Friday night's a great night for football. He wrote that song. He performed that song for the movie.
That's funny.
That is great.
The last Boy Scout was on the other day, and I remember thinking, this is – I've seen a lot of violent movies.
Oh, it's
the
way
most
over the
violent.
top.
It is so 1980s, 90s.
It ain't Scarface, but it's close.
But, I mean, Scarface, you went into it knowing. Like, this had – little girls cussing at their dad.
This has got as many F-bombs as Scarface.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, gratuitous, unnecessary violence.
Yes.
Like, over the top. At the end of the movie, the main villain opens up the trunk of his car thinking he's going to get all this money, and it turns out to be a bomb, and he blows up, and then they pan back to our heroes, and they realize, and they look over there and see like this big puff of smoke, and they're like, well, he just blew up. It's just,
yeah. And Halle Berry in a strip club.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, I'd forgotten that. That's true.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, great line in that movie. Bruce Willis said, I got a job for you. Would you? I don't know. I'm thinking about smoking some cigarettes.
Yeah.
He said, can you postpone? He said, I don't think it's a pretty good cigarette. It's just it's a funny line.
And then he said, if we get through this alive, I'm going to dance a jig. And, of course, they kill all these people at a football game. The very beginning, by the way, a running back pulls out a gun and shoots people.
Yeah, players on the field.
Players on the field.
Himself,
He was really running the run and shoot, like literally.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis does a jig at the – it's so stupid.
All right, Gary Cole, you may not know his name, but he's a guy who's been in a lot. He was the guy that in the Office Space. I need you to do that. He was the announcer in Dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
He was in Line of Fire.
Yeah.
Great movie. He did a spot on Mike Brady in the Brady Bunch movie.
Oh yeah.
Office Space, Dodgeball, and he was in Talladega Nights. He played Reese Bobby, his daddy.
He was in something else. Now I'm trying to think what else he was in. Like I'm seeing his face. Gosh, I can't remember.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's going to wrap it up. We got.
We didn't even rank them. We just said stuff.
We just kind of going through it. I had Cass Elliott, but you Mamas and Papas fan?
No.
Okay. California Dreaming, man. Monday.
Monday's fine. California Dreaming is so depressing to me.
And maybe so. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. He is Luke Robinson. I am Andy Graham. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Hi, John. You have messages.
Not now, phone. I'm driving.
You know you want to text your friends.
Texting and driving is illegal. No distractions, period. People die that way. Eating, putting on makeup.
Scroll through your music?
Nope.
Your girlfriend just texted. She's bored.
Sorry, not worth dying for.
Good call. She seems a little clingy.
Don't text your life goodbye. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissan with unmatched selection. 2, Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sale. And 3, the Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Silicaca.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.